Do whatever we can,
or may, or might.
Then for God's sake, set me free. If I stay in this chair any longer, I shall go mad.
Oh, say that and we'll never let you out. Dr. Rush's chair is always successful. Such a good doctor, Dr. Rush.
Please set me free, please.
Does she promise
to behave?
Will she try
to run away?
No, I won't. I won't run away. I promise I won't.
Besides, she has no place to run, except into the walls, which we can do, but not you, Mary, not you.
Who are you? What are you? Tell me.
We're no one, nothing, inmates of the asylum, like you, Mary, figments of your imagination, air, less than
smoke,
a puff,
a poof
of nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. Nothing!
If you are nothing, then I must be mad. I can see you, hear you.
No, you mustn't touch us, for then we would have to tear you apart. We don't exist. We're ghosts, your friends, selves of yourselves, fiends and angels. We know nothing except everything you know or want to know.
You know everything I want to know.
Certainly. Assuredly.
Definitely.
Then tell me everything I want to know.
What do you want to know, Mary?
I want to know where I am and how long I've been here.
That's too simple. It's no fun. You know that already. The Pennsylvania hospital, the same as it was this morning.
This morning? I can have only been here for a matter of hours. It isn't possible. In that chair, I thought I'd go mad.
Of course it's horrible. It's supposed to be. That's what you get for being crazy. Crazy Mary Girard.
But I'm not crazy. You know I'm not.
You must be. Mr. Girard has you admitted as a lunatic paying patient. The doctors have agreed to keep you here as long as Mr. Girard continues to pay your bills. In quite a lucrative account, you'll prove to be for a lunatic, Mary.
It's all a misunderstanding. When I see the doctors, when I speak to Mr. Girard, it'll all be corrected. It's a mistake, I tell you, in that chair. I thought I'd go mad.
She will, in time. She sounds positively stark raving mad. That chair is one of the prized possessions and inventions of Dr. Rush. He positively loves it, and so do we.
I couldn't see. I couldn't feel anything. No sooner was I strapped into it, and then I began to itch.
Nerves.
Only nerves.
Or madness.
And then my arm began to itch, and I couldn't even scratch it, and then My eyes began to tear and I couldn't even wipe them. And there was such a roaring in my ears that I thought I'd go.
Yes. Go on. Don't stop. We want to hear everything.
All sounds were strange, distant as though I were being drowned without being dead, and it seemed so terribly hard to breathe. And I woke up to such terrible dreams, and later I thought I was being smothered, coldly, carefully, by an enormous pillow that kept getting larger and larger. First it was the size of that box, then it grew to the size of the entire room, and then the entire hospital. And I knew that it would keep getting larger, smothering not only me, but everyone in the city, and everyone in the state, and everyone in the entire United States. And I awoke screaming.
You see, no one was smothering you at all. You were only here, experiencing the effects of the tranquilizing chair.
And the echo of my own screams in that box, it was horrible. Horrible. Oh, why would they put me in such a thing? Surely they know I'm not mad.
But it's the proper treatment.
For your type of madness. Everybody knows there are only two types of madness. The torpid and those subject to excitation.
Dr. Rush has invented two appliances to be used for the treatment of the mad. The gyrator or revolving machine that shakes them up. The other is the tranquilizing chair.
For types like you, Mary, one subject to excitation or claims of sanity.
I feel weak. Faint.
It's only natural after the bloodletting.
Bloodletting?
It's quite regular.
Quite customary.
Mary,
Quite natural.
It lessens greatly.
Your protestations.
of sanity. From you they took 30 ounces of blood.
Was that the itching of my arm?
Yes, you see, you didn't feel a thing. You see how well the chair works now, Mary?
I must get out of here. I can have only been here for one day. It is impossible.
Les, it's only now near midnight. Soon it will be Sunday. You will be able to hear the bells.
And when the church bells ring, Mr. Girard will be in his usual pew. Mary, praying for your soul, no doubt.
I must see him. Speak with him. I'll ask him to forgive me, or let me pass away to some other place, or pass out of his life as though we never even met.
The idea! Did you ever hear such a thing?
Horrid.
Shocking!
Disgraceful.
For a married woman to have leave her husband?
She must be mad!
If you know anything about me, you know my marriage was the worst thing that ever happened to me. Until this.
The hussy! I must say I'm shocked.
Is this from a woman legally bound to her husband for 13 years?
She sounds like a woman of the street.
A common whore, a bounty house tart,
A 10-penny slut!
How dare you talk to me in such a manner? I'm Mrs. Stephen Girard. I don't have to deal with your taunts and jeers. Get out! Get away from me and get out!
Oh no, Mary! Don't send us off or shut us out. We're only trying to help you, to put mildly what you're bound to hear. Tomorrow, only then it'll be so very much worse.
No one would dare talk to me in such a manner.
But they will, Mary, and worse, much worse. The ones on the streets, the ones at those windows, the ones who come daily to stare and point and laugh at the lunatics, to frighten them into fits or convulsions or seizures of the most horrid kinds. And it works beautifully, Mary. You'll be surprised how often and how violently the seizures come.
It mustn't be allowed. I'll speak to someone about it.
Speak to someone, mustn't be allowed. Glorious, wonderful. Can't you see how large the windows were made so people would have to stoop to see in?
You told me you know everything I want to know. Then tell me how to get out of here. Please, please.
You have to start by seeing the warder of the cells.
I saw him this morning. He won't help me.
You must see him for he's the beginning. And if you are to know the end, you have to begin at the start.
Here you go. This way. In here. Mary, that's your name, ain't it?
My name is Mrs. Stephen Girard. Call me by that if you address me again.
I'm telling the truth. It's Mary B. and Mary O'Man as far as I'm concerned. Unless you take to being the Queen of Sheba or somebody else. Then I'll be calling me that.
I came to see the doctor, and you're to take me back to my home at once.
Home? Home? Mary, this room's your home now, Mary. It's cherry, too. And daylight, that is, if you'll be able to see much daylight for the admirers you'll be entertaining in the windows up there.
What admirers?
Tomorrow's Sabbath. Lots of folks will be out in the holiday mood. You'll see for yourself then, I figure.
You don't understand. I won't be here tomorrow. I came to see the doctor about a personal condition. Where is he, sir?
My name's Frankie. You'll be good to Frankie, and Frankie will be good to you too, Mary.
I demand that you take me to the doctor.
Snooty, ain't you? Want to see a doctor at once, douchey? Well, the doctors don't come around at once. They do sometime week after next. I guess we'll wait till then. So, I'll just take your hat and cape and muff so you can get feeling right at home.
Don't touch me.
That's the way you want it. Hey, dear!
No, stop. Please, you mustn't do this.
Oh, things will be worse by a yard if you act like that too frequent.
Do you know who my husband is?
Yep, I know who you claims he be.
He is the wealthiest man in Philadelphia.
Wouldn't surprise me a notch.
Possibly the wealthiest in all the Republic.
Yep, that too.
So, if you keep me here against my will, then you'll be making a terrible mistake. He might sue you, the hospital, its board of directors, and anyone connected with it.
Nope, don't think so. Seem to know more about your Mr. Girard than you do, Mary.
I doubt that anyone of your position will know the likes of Mr. Girard, but your superiors will.
All I know is that it was Mr. Girard himself who says you lunatic, and asked most kindly that you be put in here. That's all I know.
That's a lie. How dare you impugn my husband's name with such a lie?
Some says you've done some of that impugning yourself, ain't
How
Girard?
dare you? What are you doing?
Locking the door to your new home. It's customary.
You cannot do this. You cannot. What authority do you have to do this to me? Is this some type of prison? I want to go home. Please don't do this to me, please.
I'm only doing what I get paid for doing. It's my job. I take orders from what's higher up, Mary.
But I'm not a lunatic.
That's not for you and me to say. That's for Mr. Girard to say. He be a legal guardian. He's the one who put you here.
He hasn't the authority. He isn't medically qualified to pronounce me either sane or insane.
He's your husband, ain't he? This Stephen Girard.
Yes.
Well then, there you be. He don't gotta be no doctor. All he gotta be is your husband. And that makes him a legal guardian. And by law, whenever a legal guardian says the one that's guardian over is lunatic, we picks him up and puts him here. We got lots of women folks whose soulmates read out a little letter saying they're lunatic. You'll see him. It's crazy too. Seems to happen more to women folk, kind of the delicacy of their minds.
Even though Mr. Girard is my legal guardian, surely someone has to make up some legal document declaring me either sane or insane. Isn't that true?
Right as rain.
Then there has to be a terrible mistake because no one has examined me. My husband told me I was to come with you to see a doctor.
Yep, that's what we tell most of them. Just go to the hospital to see a doctor. It works nearly every time. Sometimes telling them they're going to the dentist, just for variety's sake. And I got a legal and binding written document from Mr. Shepherd himself, one of the managers at this whole hospital. He's got a letter from Mr. Girard saying straight up that he, his wife, Mary Girard, is lunatic, and requested that you be held here for treatment for the rest of your natural life. Unless, of course, you be cured.
Don't be upset, Mary.
That's one's past. You can forget all about that one, Mary.
When will they let me see someone? Speak with someone. I need to see someone.
We can let you see anyone you choose. Just tell us who it is. Name the names and instantly you'll see them.
Will you truly, or am I only imagining this?
What does it matter? Just give us the names.
I want to see my mother.
Her mother?
Oh, how funny!
Little Mary wants to see her mother.
Yes. Let me see her, please.
You sit for me, madam?
Mother, you've come to me.
Rise, madam. Of course I will come at the bidding of Mrs. Girard. I could hardly do otherwise, could I? Although I cannot pretend to understand why you wanted me here.
Oh, I need you, Mother.
Need me, madam? You never needed me very much, and now I'm sure you need me not at all. You mustn't speak extravagantly. Surely there is nothing I can do for you that you haven't the wherewithal to do much better than I.
It isn't money that I need of you.
I should think not.
It is comfort that I need of you now.
Comfort? You live in the very heart of comfort, madam. Never have I seen a house this fine, furnishings this rich. The shine on these floors make me afraid to take a step, lest they prove to be glass and crack underfoot. You must be quite happy here.
This isn't my house. This is a cell for lunatics in the cellar of the great hospital. Do not mock me, madam. Surely you can see it is cold and damp and horrid here.
I see only that when you married above your station, it brought you great rewards. I see also why you did not want your family coming here, trasping the dirt from workmen's feet across the polish of your fine wood floors.
My family was not welcome here. Neither were my friends, and now myself I am not. I told you what it was like for me when I visited you. You must have believed me, didn't you?
A poor excuse beats none, they say.
You didn't believe me, did you? You never did. You thought I didn't want you here because I was ashamed of you.
Something like that, yes. It's all right. We know what happens all the time. It's all right. It's to be expected.
But it wasn't me who didn't want you here. It was Mr. Girard.
That's all right, too. Why would he? We wasn't kin to him. And I'll not listen to you berate Mr. Girard. He was a prince to your father, an absolute prince. Kept your father working on his ships as long as he was alive, and I'll not listen to any bad words about Mr. Girard.
Mother, my husband abuses me.
For shame that you should give him cause. A double shame that you be brazen enough to tell it. Surely you should know by now that there is nothing unusual in a husband's abusing his wife. It is the woman's place to be clever enough to seem to do her husband's will, whether she do or no. If you have been married this longest time, madam, and still have not learned that, I do not doubt that you have made a sorry time for yourself and poor Mr. Girard as well.
And must a wife always bend to her husband's will, whether it be right or wrong?
Most assuredly, because it is the law.
Whose law?
God's law. When you married, you vowed to honor and obey your husband till death do you part. Do you dare question the law of God himself?
If it is unjust.
It is impossible for God's law to be unjust.
If this is God's law as you say it is, then why didn't you speak to me about this before I married Mr. Girard?
You were a woman, madam.
I was 16. I was a girl.
It was your wish to marry.
It was Mr. Girard's wish to marry me.
You weren't as innocent as that. Your marriage was a financial transaction. Your father and you knew Mr. Girard had money, and you would never have to work another day in your life if you married him.
Then why did you speak to me about love and home?
Because I knew it would be easier for you if you loved him.
But you know I didn't. You know I didn't love him. I was a servant. I wanted a home of my own.
You knew what you were doing. You got the home you wanted and much more. The shine of this house blinds the eye.
Look around, madam. Nothing you see here is mine. I have nothing. Nothing.
Then you can only blame yourself. A wise woman never lets her husband know the distaste she may feel for him. You should have dissembled more and hidden whatever loathing you felt behind a display of fiend affection.
I would have been a liar.
You would have fared better.
Look, I brought you here because I have desperate news. I am with child.
Polly, this is wonderful.
No.
Nothing in the world can do more to please a childless man. Mr. Girard must be overjoyed.
No.
You mean he is not?
I haven't told him.
But you must, at once.
I cannot.
What do you mean, you cannot?
I fear for my safety. I fear for what he might do to me.
Do to you?
The baby isn't Mr. Girard's.
Polly, no!
I have informed him that I intend on leaving his home. I want to come home again. I can bring nothing but my gratitude and a regard for you.
I cannot help you, madam. it would have been well for you to have had his child.
Don't you think I tried to have his child?
All I know is that you have stupidly jeopardized not only your own welfare, but everything else as well. If Mr. Girard repudiates you, so must I. If Mr. Girard repudiates you, so
No, don't
must
leave.
I.
She thought I was the mistress of my house, but I wasn't.
You never were you, Mary?
Leave me alone. You cheated me. I wanted to see my mother here.
Do you think,
Do you imagine?
Do you suppose that it will make the slightest bit of difference?
Yes. Yes, it would. I know it would. When she sees me here, sees what they've done to me.
but she won't, Mary.
She won't. Why should she? She'll get from Mr. Girard the little help she always wanted. She'll not come here again.
You're lying to me. Lying.
You're doing this to yourself. We want you to see how things are with you. How things are
With you.
How things are with her. What do you mean by that?
Dr. Rush asks that I speak to you personally, Mr. Girard, to make known to you certain surprising developments that have recently come to our attention regarding your wife's state and condition, sir.
I do not know, sir, if you value your time, but I do mine. Please be brief.
I will try. May I sit, sir?
By all means, sit or do whatever you wish. Only let us get this bothersome business settled. If there is some question as to the adequacy of the monthly payment of her expenses, I shall naturally increase the allotment to whatever sum is necessary.
Oh no, Mr. Girard, it is not a financial matter that brings me here, but rather one concerning your wife's mental and physical condition.
As I am quite familiar with the one, and not at all interested with the other, I doubt that anything you have to tell me will be of the least interest to me. Nonetheless, as she yet remains my wife, and as you have taken it upon yourself to interrupt my affairs in this matter, I am willing to listen to you, only briefly.
Well, I have rather surprising news for you and for all of us at the hospital. Mrs. Girard is with child.
Yes,
Do you mean you have been cognizant of this fact?
I have.
And were you so aware when you had her brought to us?
Yes, sir, I was.
And yet you brought her to us to be confined with the mentally insane.
Most certainly. I find it curious, I need point out to you, that the physical conditions have nothing whatsoever to do with the state of one's mind. I brought my wife to you, sir, because she is insane.
Your wife suffers from severe headaches. Upon occasion, she exhibits erratic behavior and outbursts of abusive language. If she were not pregnant, there might be cause to think of an extended rest, close care, and quiet. And it might not be enough to restore her to normal faculties. However, as she is with child...
That is a fact I wish you and the members of the board to disregard. Whether she is, as you say, with child or not, need be no concern of yours, nor of anyone else's. I tell you with all candor, it is not a fact I wish ever to be known. Nor do I feel kindly disposed to you, sir, for having pressed this loathsome fact onto my consideration. True, I was previously aware of her condition, but I have chosen of my own free will to ignore it. And I advise you and all the members of the board to do so likewise.
Sir, I am amazed. I have just told you your wife is soon to be delivered of your child. A child you seem determined will be gestated and born in a madhouse, amid scenes most horrid, amongst the mad men and mad women, and you advise me to ignore it?
Precisely.
Mr. Girard, what I'm trying to tell you is that, given these newly discovered circumstances, we cannot permit you to leave Mrs. Girard in these conditions. To leave such a woman at such a place, at such a time, poses the greatest possible threat to her sanity, no matter how sane she might have been beforehand.
I see. Perhaps. This will be sufficient.
It is not a matter of money.
Is that fact?
It is.
Come, come. I'm a loyal and active supporter of our new republic, and I am a businessman. In both capacities, it has been my experience that everything in life is a question of money. I have found no friendship, no love, no loyalty, and no fact that cannot be altered by a large enough draft or a tidy enough sum of money.
Surely you cannot believe that, sir.
Believe it. I know it. It is fact, sir. I have staked my career on it, and as you can see, I have prospered. Look at this.
$3,000. But this is made out to
To you, sir. That is payment in advance, which I hope you be gracious enough to accept from me. You see, I do not choose to be concerned any further with any difficulties that may arise due to my wife's confinement. Therefore, I humbly ask that you personally see to it that whatever needs to be done is done to keep our references to her, her child, if it should live, and any other difficulties concerning her beyond my awareness. As to the Board of Trustees, tell them I shall assume all responsibility for this matter in writing, of course. Tell them also that within a month of my unfortunate wife's demise, the hospital shall receive a check identical to the one you owe now. You need not ever mention this check. I feel a man's finances are no one's affair but his own. Tell him also that upon my death, I shall bequeath the Pennsylvania Hospital no less a sum than 10 times the amount already written there. All of this to be above and beyond the sums agreed for the insane woman and given in deepest gratitude for the insane woman who, unfortunately, still bears my name.
I don't know what to say.
Answer only this. Can it be done?
Yes.
Answer only this. Can it be done?
Yes.
Good. See to it then. I believe you know your way out.
But sir,
Sir,
what of the child?
that, sir, is no concern of mine.
I would not have a child of mine born under such conditions for all the money in the world.
And I assure you, neither would I.
Do you mean the child is...
I bid you good day, sir.
Sir!
Mr. Phillips!
He can't hear you, Mary.
Yes, he can. I know he can. He looked right at me.
He can't hear you because he doesn't want to. Men lose all their faculties if the prophet sounds.
Mr. Phillips!
He can't hear you. He won't hear you. Nobody will. Poor Mary. Poor Mary Girard.
What will become of my child?
Whose baby is it?
Yes. Tell us who the father is. Tell us. Tell.
The father is unimportant. He is someone who was warm and affectionate to me.
Untrue, Mary.
You cuckolded your husband.
You betrayed him.
Broke your marriage vows.
For shame. Shame, Mary.
You will give birth to an evil thing. Only evil comes from evil. Something dark and horrid comes from evil. Darkness bred and darkness gives forth darkness.
I don't believe you. You're trying to drive me mad.
You should have been like Polly Kenton.
Yes, definitely like Polly. Then you had been all right.
Had your baby and your home. Your mother would have been so grateful. Mrs. Lum would have loved having a daughter like Polly.
What are you talking about?
Polly, Polly, Polly,
I am Polly?
Polly, Polly Mary, Polly Mary Girard, crazy Mary Girard. Yes, now, but not soon. No, not soon. Soon the whole city would know Mr. Girard's Polly. They would have forgotten you, Mary. Even your mother, if she were alive, would have favored Polly.
What are you talking about?
They were talking about me, Mrs. Girard.
Who are you? I don't know you. What are you doing here?
My name's Polly. Polly Kington. There's no reason why it should be important to you. I'm only one in a long line of housekeepers who will replace you,
Mrs. Girard.
There'll be others too, I suppose.
I'm sure there will be.
Why didn't he care for me?
In the beginning he did. You should have had his child.
But it wasn't my fault we couldn't have children. And I thought it wasn't. I knew he blamed me. And sometimes as I was sewing, I'd feel cold. Cold as though a draft of icy wind pierced me. And I'd look up to see him staring. Only that, only staring. Looking at me as though I were a column of figures that didn't quite balance in his cash books.
You sound as though you wanted him to care for you.
Is that so strange?
It isn't practical. You should know what you could get from him, what you could not. You should know what he expected in return and seen to as though you gave it to him.
His affection was all I wanted.
But he had none to give. Wealth was the only thing he had to give to you.
But that was nothing to me. Nothing.
If he had given him a baby, you would have completed your side of the bargain. He in turn would have given you his undying gratitude. If you could have managed to have a son, you would have won his affection as well.
But we tried to have children. We tried, but we could not.
You should have seen to as though you gave him a child, even if it was not his. He would have thought it was his, and the bargain would have been complete, and you would have won his affection.
Must it be like a business transaction?
All relationships are. Everyone expects to get something in return for what they're giving.
But you've not had his child, have you?
Of course not. A man expects his wife to bear his children and his mistress to bear none.
Yet you've won his affection.
Yes, I have.
Why? How?
By not even watching him. I've always been honest with him. He knows all I want from him is a comfortable home. In exchange, I give him delicious care. I've babied him, became his mother, his mistress. I've always known the mistress was only incidental. I let him become with me, the little boy he wanted from you. The more outrageously you try to gain his attention and sympathy, the more he turned away in loathing. Your behavior has made him come to hate you.
Has he said this to you?
I can tell you his words exactly. I hate her like the devil, and I know with pleasure that this feeling increases daily.
I don't believe you. He wouldn't say that. He wouldn't feel that.
I hate her like the devil, and I know with pleasure that this feeling increases daily.
I don't believe you. I can't. I won't.
I hate her like the devil, and I know with pleasure that this feeling increases daily.
What intolerable wrong did I ever do to him?
Perhaps he does not know himself. The fact is, however, you are not sensible. It is never sensible to expect a man to understand and tolerate the dreams of his wife.
And they told him I suffered from dreaming.
Got us some cheers for dreamers here, Mary.
Dr. Rush gives special care to dreamers, Mary.
Some icy paths in winter.
Splinters under the thumbnail.
White hot iron under the soles of the feet of sanity.
But they cannot do that to me, for I'm sane.
How could they possibly know that, Mary?
They know it because it is true.
Did they tell you you were sane, Mary?
One can tell. Surely one can tell for oneself.
No, they had to tell you. Tell you, Mary. Tell you.
Who can do this? The doctors? The board of managers?
You can, Mary. It's easy as pie. Mary, crazy Mary Girard. You can tell if you really wanted to. It's easy as pie. Easy as making your bed, gathering flowers, listening, or simple as praying to God. Mary, word, word, God, 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 God.
Do you ever pray, Mary?
What do you mean? Of course I.
No. To really pray to Almighty God with your mind, heart, and soul. To Him as He will open out to you with His mind, heart, and soul. Until you are riding there on the celestial crystal of pure white, the purest of white.
Jesus, Jesus, sweet, sweet Jesus.
But, and because of that, you have.
Have you ever locked up a lock, Mary?
Clickety-clack.
Clickety-lock, lock up the lock.
I have many times. turns the key right in the lock, big ass pie. He takes him with this hand, and he puts him right in, like this. He turns him right in the lock, Mary. Big ass pie, Mary.
Takes him right in his hand, puts it in the lock up the lock.
But I don't understand.
I would have understood exactly, Mary. Have you ever made your bed, Mary? It must be done at the proper time, not too late, improperly, or too soon. Not just anyway. The sheets must be smooth and straightened well, until no single line or wrinkle. The sheets must have no wrinkles, Mary.
Smooth as hair, Mary.
But how could you possibly?
Have you listened, Mary? On the docks, I lifted with the sweat. Listen to the robin. Heave for announced laid. Ho! Heave with the crank on. Ho! No. Lips speak. No. Thunder. Cry. No. X's. Y. No. Ho! No. Ah!
Don't cry, Mary, or listen. You mustn't scream, Mary.
You never gathered flowers, did you, Mary? I have gathered more flowers than anyone has ever dreamed of. Have you ever held a flower, Mary? Your very own flowers, tender and secret and gentle. Hide it in your arms. Did you rock with it, Mary? Rock until one by one the petal falls and the stem dries up and the cradle rocks. By yourself, Mary. Rock yourself, Mary.
What can you tell us,
Mary, tell us about yourself. Tell us. Tell.
Afterwards, the lapping of the water in the bucket. And before, as I drew it up from the well, for I always knew my arms were strong.
Yes, Mary. Yes.
And the sounds of empty spaces in the water, made by the dripping, by the sucking of the bucket, brim full, lifting.
Yes, Mary.
And as I was a little girl, I'd watch my father working, his hammer, hammering nails.
Yes, Mary.
That's right. And the nails being driven. And him, bring him into the cell.
We don't know who you mean. We daren't step on any toes.
Bring Stephen Girard into this cell now.
No, we must not. We cannot.
Bring him.
How did you get here?
I am where you placed me, Stephen.
Where I shouldn't be in this place.
Oh no, Stephen.
No,
Do you think I'm a vision?
no, of course not. No.
Is it true, as they say, that the baby is that of Mary Girard's?
The baby's origin is no matter of importance, Mrs. Hatcher. You and Mr. Hatcher will receive the set sum for nursing this child, just as you have all the other children in the past.
Yes, Mr. Phillips. I really do appreciate you calling on me again. My health is ever so much better now than it used to be.
The past is the past, Mrs. Hatcher.
Why would you do this to me?
I had no choice. You are insane.
Don't lie to me, Stephen. Even if I were insane, you could have spared me this. You and I both know what my behavior was. You know as well as I that I am sane.
I hope that is true.
Oh, such a pretty little baby. And a girl. What's her name?
Her name is Mary.
Call her whatever you wish. Her name is immaterial.
Oh, I shall take good care of this one. There won't be no repeats of my mistakes from the past. My health is ever so much better.
I told you not to speak of the past, Mrs. Hatcher. Both for your sake and for the sake of the hospital. It is best that you keep hidden from your neighbors the source of which you've received this child.
Oh, I shall love taking care of her. I am truly grateful I've never had a
little girl before. Now, what shall I call you? I think I'll call you Rose. Rose is my name, you see, and you will be my little girl.
Mrs. Hatcher.
She told me you hated me like the devil. I didn't believe her until now.
Who told you that?
Mrs. Hatcher,
Yes, Mr. Phillips?
I caution you becoming too fond of this child. It is, after all, a child born under unpropitious circumstances.
What do you mean, Mr. Phillips?
I am asking you to treat it the same way as you would any other child.
Oh, I will, sir.
Yes, well, good, yes. I will have you treat it as if it were a normal child.
Isn't it a normal child, Mr. Phillips?
Oh, no, Mrs. Hatcher, I didn't mean to alarm you. This baby seems normal, right? Needs all the care and attention in the world. All the care and attention all the other children need. But there is a difference.
What's the difference, Mr. Phillips? Please tell me.
Don't let them do this.
The baby's mother is a patient among the insane.
Oh, no.
This baby has been born by and among those possessed of devils.
God, preserve us.
Born by and among those possessed of devils.
Oh, God, preserve us.
By and among those possessed of devils.
God, preserve us.
When we met, I was 16, a servant carrying water through the streets. I laughed at everything then. I was happy without even knowing it. Do you remember that girl, Stephen?
She does not exist, madam.
No. We destroyed her. You and I both destroyed her utterly. Did you ever love her?
She was pretty. People noticed her. She was innocent, a trait few women have.
Innocent. And then she married you and she thought she gained the whole world. But in reality, only gained this little room.
She had everything she should have wanted.
The cost was too much.
It cost her nothing.
Nothing? What is the value of nothing, Mr. Girard? What is the price? Can you estimate the enormity of nothing? Because I can tell you it is beyond calculation. When we married, I was prepared to give you everything. But you wanted only nothing. So it is fitting that you have placed me here in this room with nothing.
You had everything a woman could reasonably have ever wanted.
What is some good reason without a little affection?
If you wanted affection, you should have just told me instead of making a public display of yourself.
Stephen, I made no attempt to hide my behavior from you. We differed in only one way. I didn't bring my lovers under your roof. You cannot fault me for that. I always maintained a respect for you and a regard for your feelings and your pride. Do not lock me up in this poorhouse, Stephen. Send me away. Send me to one of your houses and lock me in a room for the rest of your life. Give me my father's tools, nails, and a hammer, and I'll drive the demons away from me, Stephen. Lock me in a room and allow me to suffer my conscience and dream my dreams alone.
Alone! A seclusive wife pleases no one. The needs of my sex are fewer than those of yours, madam. Men are more self-sufficient. Consequently, it is all the more important for a man's wife to see to it that his needs are met. Your acknowledgement of me as your husband never went beyond the duties of the flesh.
You mean to say my thoughts were my own?
I mean to say, you felt to be a dutiful wife. When I found you, you were a peasant. Your mother remains one. I had hoped you would develop a sense of who you had become in becoming my wife. I had hoped you would rise above your origin sufficiently to modify an overly tolerant nature. It is well known that the wife of Stephen Girard converses indiscriminately with persons of no consequence, as readily as she does with persons of some social standing. In these ways and others, you have failed me.
Yes, in these ways I have failed you, Stephen.
If only you could.
No.
I can make a life of hell on earth, madam.
When I was childish, you blamed me. I too thought I was barren. I felt I cheated you out of a son, but it wasn't me. It was you. You didn't have life in your own body, so you couldn't put any in mine. I got more one from a stranger in a little hour than I ever got from you. It isn't my child that resents you, Mr. Girard. It is my freedom of mind and my love for life itself. May God have pity on you, sir.
God! I do not know if God exists. If I thought he did, I would pray that he keep you here for so ever long a time. As I cannot be sure of him, I will see to it myself that you endure a hell on earth. Then I'll pray to a possible God that it may endure forever.
All right. But my baby will live.
She thinks her baby.
She thinks her infant
She thinks her child
Will give her comfort.
will bring her solace.
Will bring her relief. Not so. No. You're untrue, Mary. You courted your husband. You betrayed him. And you broke your marriage vows. For shame. Shame, Mary. You will give birth to an evil thing. Only evil comes from evil. Something dark and horrid comes from evil. Darkness bred and darkness gives forth darkness. As we have shown you the head. As we have shown you the heart. As we have shown you the past. As we have shown you what the far future holds. We will now show you what is yet to be.
Oh, she is so very lovely. If I ever doubted that you were worth so much suffering for, please forgive me. Why are you looking like laughing? She will live. Tell me she will live.
Most definitely.
And she will be happy. Tell me she will be happy.
Certainly. Quite as happy as she could be. Most decidedly happy.
Then I will live by that, if you promise that.
We can do that. The question, however, is how long?
How long?
It will not be a longish life.
Will she die young?
Yes. Quite young.
Quite young. 20 years?
20. Heavens, what an age.
15 years?
Goodness, no. Certainly not.
Then 10. Surely no more than 10.
Gracious goodness, no. Nothing like it. Far from it.
Then 5? A little 5?
Yes, indeed. You've hit on it.
My poor child. Only 5 brief years of life?
Oh, wrong. Years. We said nothing about years.
But you just now said 5.
months, Mary. Yes, months. 5 months, Mary. Yes.
Oh no, my little one.
5 months is quite enough, Mary. Then buried in an unmarked grave that you will have in common, Mary.
You too will be buried in an unmarked grave. Here on the hospital grounds. You'll never leave these walls. And no services. Oh no, Mary. No hymns or prayers for you. A burial, no services.
Good. Then that at least I am glad to hear. And tell me. The sooner I know, the best it will fit me. Tell me.
Guess. We couldn't just say, oh no, you'll have to guess.
A year?
Heavens, no. Such short a time.
2, 3, 5. Surely no more than 5.
5 is right. So clever is our Mary. 5 and 20. 20 more.
20 more. 5 and 20 more. I couldn't stand it, I tell you.
Well, most of it will be in this chair.
The tranquilizing chair. The restraining chair. Bound down like the evil thing you are.
No. God wouldn't permit it. He wouldn't leave me living in this hellhole for 5 and 20 more years. He will be merciful to me and let me die soon. God, please, sweet Jesus, be merciful to me and let me not live here such an age.
Oh, isn't she funny? Sweet Jesus. She's starting to froth in the mouth. Even in prayer, God still won't hear you. Mary, nor Mr. Phillips. Why should he? He set you up for it. It's God's jest And the fool is you.
I won't believe you. You're trying to drive me mad.
He made you beautiful, Mary. God did. But you made the mistake of believing in your own beauty. It's played you a devilish trick. It's been your doing and undoing. It's played you a devil of a trick. God did it to you too, Mary.
God, help me. Help me. Oh, I love it when she prays to the dark corners and damp walls, to the empty spaces between the stars. If she can see any stars. Can you, Mary? Can you see any stars? I don't know. My eyesight is so dim. It always happens after long confinement in dark places. God, answer me. Where are you? Please answer me. Please answer me. Where are you, God? God! God! Stop it! Damn you, all of you! Where is he? Is he another man? If so, I have nothing to do with such a God, and I damn you! I damn you! Do you hear? She's now giving proof that she's insane! Insane! Insane folks always deny God! They have to! They're the devil's own! His handiworks, his cohorts, his consorts! Mary Girard, the devil's trick, the devil's catch, the devil's bats, the devil's mirror tricks, when they discover how she cursed God. Stop it! And turned on him. And denounced and damned him. Stop it! Then maybe they'll tear the baby from her bleeding belly, condemn it for a cursed thing, pull it with the pinchers from her devil's doorway, kick it, strap on it, step on it, curse it, spit on it, damn it, tear it, bury it living, burn it with fire sticks, break it with stones. Stop it! Now she's caught our scent, like hounds behind a fox. Let's hope she's quick to make the leap. At last she understands. Yes, yes, at last I do understand. What if I were insane without even knowing it? I don't think I'd even care. I have a bed that is firm, a window that I can look out if I stand atop the bed, and maybe if I weren't so crazy, they wouldn't always keep me in this chair. And maybe if I accepted you all as my companions and not resented you, then they'd let me walk, take some few steps, look out the window, smell the fresh air, and give birth to my poor, pitiful child. Isn't that true?
Yes, Mary. Yes, indeed.
And if I were to turn my back on that world and curse all the values that it adores, denying myself the luxury that wealth can give, then that would be proof that I am insane. Wouldn't it?
Yes, Mary.
And here is only solitude, poverty, and deprivation, where there in the great, great, great world is wealth. Endless self-indulgence within ordinary society with people such as him, Mr. Stephen Girard. And if I were to prefer this over that, then that would be proof to the whole world that I am insane. Wouldn't it?
Yes, Mary. Yes.
Then if I am not insane already, then I soon shall be. For there is a point of absolute stillness, a point of where jealousy, greed, and hatred cannot come. A point of being, a feeling of which longing and unhappiness cannot touch. And when I pull myself into that place, I feel as though I've reached something like God, but far greater than God, and I can look up on my life as though it were a shadow on the wall. And there it is quiet, peaceful, and calm, where no human being can enter. In comparison to the outside world, it is cruel, hatred, and jealousy, and greed, and dare let them come to the windows. I will show them the respect they warrant. I will give them the show they expect and deserve. I will look them boldly in the eyes and curse and spit on them from the depths of the well of hatred. And I will tear off my clothes so that they may see my nether parts and see how completely and plainly I repudiate their world. And I shall have nothing to lose. And I shall have no capitulation or surrender. And from this day forward, I, Mary Girard, shall be completely, happily, and truly insane, insane, insane.
Y'all like crazy. Think about stepping over this thing.